Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Tezolino here with Elevate Chiropractic and bringing you our Raising Elevated Families webcast here. And today we are very fortunate and privileged to have Danielle Wurth here with Wurth Organizing, which, as of which she is a professional organizer, as the name kind of states, but she's also an author. She's a speaker. She's a soccer mom, like many of you out there, but she's had some contributions to HGTV magazine. She's been on Fox 10 News, Arizona Republic, and just yesterday you had a Facebook Live with Channel 12 too, from what you were just here, which is awesome. And I love that you have come on here because, as you know too, you're familiar with us and we've met in the past. But here in our practice, we're heavily focused on not neck and back pain, but we're heavily focused on helping the nervous system work at its best. And we preach, lifestyle things that help promote this, from whether it be physical, chemical, or even emotional. And a lot of which with what you deal with is like a lot of that headspace stuff, because when things are chaotic, headspace is crazy. And also, which you can kind of dive into a little bit more, but just to help our viewers understand as well, you've got a particular kind of niche as well, like we do, focusing on kiddos with like ADHD, executive functioning, those things, because organizing can help reduce anxiety. It can help with executive function. It also helps with family life and communication, because when things are calm there's less chaos here, which then obviously doesn't, it promotes us not to be in a stress mode, which allows us to be more in our calm and communicative state as well. But, as far as with, me continue to go on, let's have you talk a little bit, kind of give us a general sense as far as, who is Danielle? In a nutshell here.
Well, good. Thank you so much for having me on too. I think this is just such a natural fit, and just overall health as far as healing body. And then we're all about healing the home and the brain and everything. So I, really have enjoyed organizing now about 12 years. I'm a mom, my boys are 13 and 10, two totally different personalities. I have ADHD myself, found out later in adulthood. Ironically, about when I was starting the business. And I just started seeing, when I had my first child, how much stuff kind of came with the kids, and created systems for them, and realized that, being organized as a parent and running a family and systems, it was really a non-negotiable to really thrive and not just, survive here. And my heart just really went out to families, thinking, I thought it was just common. You just popped out a kid and you just know how to organize, and you just know how to set up and do laundry. Is obviously a silly thought, but I'm just being straight up. And then people would tell me, no, you really have like a talent for this. And I'm like, that's a talent? I didn't think it was. But I'm realizing it was, and moms just wanted, saying, I was never taught, I have no idea what to do, I've got kids, my house is crazy, can you help? And so, we come in with that psychology-based method. That's where my studies are. It's really not just about all the cute little pretty bins and baskets and everything you see on social. That's great, but that's phase 3. If we really don't, assess the space and the function, phase 1, assign this, as far as attack and dissect, what do we need? What do we don't? What's our purpose? How does it serve us? We can get all the cute stuff we want, but it's just a bunch of cute stuff. It's really not going to serve us well and teach. So, we just love it, because we look at people and their needs, again, totally non-judgmental, and say, listen, let's wipe the slate clean here. Let's start with some new teaching, new concepts, new ways to make decisions. And I think at this point, we talked earlier before we started, we're just in we're in go mode, but we're in beyond fast. I mean, sometimes we're just missing our turnoff. We're going so fast on that freeway. I think we're at that point, we're not even keeping up with traffic. We're like 3 turnoffs behind. And so absolutely, you have that brain, and that brain's in overload, and the emotions, and we don't have the skills or the systems. And now we have a second generation of kids. It's fierce. It is fierce.
Yeah. And then, it's a great point that you make. And a lot of the people, obviously, that are parents understand this. And, things can get overwhelming, and we don't make the best decisions when we're in a state of survival, right? And it's hard to parent and be the parent that we want to be when we're in that state of survival. And before you know it, things pile up, right? Because we're just in survival mode and we're just trying to take care of the things we need to right now. Kids are set and fed and this and the laundry, which never ends, right? And then the cleaning up and the organizing, that stuff doesn't happen until we can get off the gas pedal and get more into that, hit the brake and calm out of that. And
exactly.
It's overwhelming to even think about organizing, right? And so that's what you do, not only teaching people on how to do it, but you can also do it, right? Like you come into people's houses and just do it. Because many times, parents are going to still be in that mode, and that is just not going to get done, even though we really want it to. So it's great to have you be able to come in and be able to do that, and maybe even set that starting point, so then they can actually go off of that, because it's too much of a hill to get over. Right?
I think one of the big things that makes it maybe it's sort of this double-sided coin here, but a lot of moms, or even husbands, will tell the moms, hey, listen, you're running the house, this is sort of your show, do what you need to do. And the moms are doing the best they can with whatever their skill set is, whatever their budget is. But there is kind of that shame/pride battle that I think I know I see a lot. I can't speak for all moms, but I do see a lot of moms facing. I should be able to know how to do this. I should be able to fix this. I should be able to. And it's not like they're not trying. It's not like the effort's not there. It's not like their heart's not there, but they don't know how to start and go about it, because it's gotten just sort of like so big, so overwhelming. And then often husbands are like, you've got to deal with this, honey. We don't have time. But if the budget's not there and they don't know how to do it, then what? It's a really tough dynamic. So I think at some point, I always try to allude to, listen, it is a little bit of investment that you need to make, but hey, let's stop the bleeding of wasting money. How much did you put in the Costco cart this week for food and excessive waste, extra tech and games and activities? That's in the thousands. So sure, a few $100s for a session. You gotta get off the gas. You gotta stop the spending and start investing. Yeah,
it's definitely it's an investment like anything, right? And it's because what is it? This continues on. How does this impact everything else? I mean, as far as not only communication with kiddos or husband and relationships, and your health too, because I mean, totally. Every day is because if our body is constantly in a state of survival, it's not thinking about health, growth, development, the things that we need to. It's just pumping out stress hormones, which doesn't do the body good. It's the opposite of the milk adage, right? Like milk does the body good. So stress doesn't do the body good. So getting out of that, it's hard at first, but it's like anything that's the first step is the hardest. But do you guys provide different types of service for different types of budgets?
We absolutely do. I never want to not be able to serve a family in need. It just to me, that's just where my heart is at. Because all you have is your home. You have to come home. So if it's a place you don't want to be at, I mean, that's definitely a big problem. Or if you can't, it's gotten to a point where you can't have people over. Absolutely. So we offer free consults on the phone. I have a little book me link. It's bookme.name/Wurth organizing.
Yeah, I got that right here, and I'm going to.
I think you have it on the little footer. Okay, perfect. Yes, there you go. And that just has a great frequently asked questions guide. Wives and husbands can look on it. All those random questions like, will you have me throw everything away, and so forth. Are we ready? Is your mind ready for making a change? I can't be more motivated for them to want a healthier life for them and their kids than they are. I know they might be concerned, but trust for us is everything. We take that. It's so very important. So after a free consult, it's 20, 30 minutes on the phone. Then we can do two things. We can go into what's called $100 walkthrough consult. It's about an hour or so. and we are going through the home, and we are giving our feedback, ideas, suggestions, products, solutions. It's basically, we kind of call it the DIY model. Hey, I don't have, a few hundred for a session, but I need answers. So we'll go through and tell you, in this room, I do this, I do that, clear this out, adjust this shelf, buy what you need, repurpose what you have. If they're like, hey, that's great, but I need more than, I'll do some, the client will do some of the work, but they want us to literally come in, roll up the sleeves, then that's a hands-on session, 2-session minimum. It's $300 for, session 1, and same thing for session 2. We offer discount packages. So most people will do like a 12 or 20-hour session. That sounds like a lot of hours, but I tell people, how long or how many years has this layer cake of life in your home built up? And I'm telling you, it's more than 12 hours. That was 12 hours last week, 12 hours the week before. So we'll expedite it gravely, but I think that setting the right expectation, and we can give them tasks. So, and it can be tax deductible. I think that's the biggest thing. We're a consulting service. So anyone has a business, health issues, challenges, addiction, recovery, that gets put under behavioral health, or really, there's so many avenues for it to be a deduction. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
That's fantastic. And, for what you do, and you keep talking like, a lot of parents or families and whatnot are, the type of people that you experience that are constantly and continually to seek you out. It's not just like you have to be a hoarder to want, obviously, to be hoarder, right?
Yeah.
Is it pretty much just everyday soccer mom and everyday dad that are kind of seeking your services out, where your house doesn't have to be chaotic, right?
Right. It doesn't have to be. I have to say, consistently, I feel like our market is broken into thirds. It's really kind of, it doesn't see borders or ethnicities or incomes. It really could be of anyone of all, age group, season of life, and income level, because it's disorder. Disorder really affects everyone. But we are probably broken into a third of really intense volume. Just, there could be a family death. There could have been a surgery, a child special needs that had happened a lot, and so forth. The other third is just sort of your typical family clutter. Life got away, but hey, it's all stuffed in the cupboards and stuffed in the drawers. We call that the secretive stuffer. Right. The house looks beautiful. It's all ready to people come over. But if you open the cupboard, it's like, Lord only knows what's in there, what's growing in there. And again, the house could just look fantastic on the outside, but on the inside, it's very, very unhealthy.
Yeah, the door is budging. It's like just shaking, right? I remember like those cartoons, right? And they just
Yeah, boom. So sure. And then the other third is, hey, they've done pretty well. They've exhausted themselves. I had 2 husbands call for their wives last week. They have made multiple trips to the Container Store. So we're branded with exclusively. They've spent several $1,000s trying to fix the problem in the kitchen and the pantry. Nothing has worked. He's like, Danielle, we have spent hours trying to just nail it. So we're going over the next week. And I mean, we'll be able to identify in 1 hour, this needs to be switched here, there, do that. They're probably going to be like, oh my gosh, how come I didn't see that? But getting a neutral, getting just a fresh eye and saying, I never thought of it. I never thought of switching this and that. I mean, done. Just there's a lot of benefit in getting an outside perspective to collaborate with. I've done it in my office here. Sometimes you're just too thick in the forest.
Absolutely.
To see the way out.
Forest, right? And that's a good point that you made too, as far as time, because what is your time worth, right? Like you could spend 5 to 10 hours, especially if you're, let's say, a business owner, right? Your time is not worthy to focus on the organization. You need to be working on the business so that
Right.
you invest in somebody like yourself to do that. And let me ask you this too. I mean, you're talking a lot with parents and homes. So do you go into businesses to be able to help
Yes.
organize for
Absolutely.
businesses?
We've done health clinics, we've done small businesses. This last year I just worked with an attorney, a small attorney firm, which was really neat. Women with blogging businesses, they're juggling the kids at home. Realtors, again, everyone needs that fresh eye. We've even had the opportunity to work with Archway, the Cicero schools.
Yep.
They're what do you call it? They're the athletic department. They had 12 different team as far as sport team and equipment. I mean, that's we got to work also with the Arizona Cardinals. We've just been able to work with some really neat as far as dynamics, and I think that's what I love about organizing is we've seen so much. We've worked in so many environments. So coming in and being able to be like, hey, I've got the answer for you. There is a lot of value. I do what I need to do to get the answer for, marketing, direction, design.
You've been there, you've done that, and you've got the experience to come into a situation to be like, oh, I've seen this before. This is what we need to do.
Yeah,
awesome.
Exactly.
And you've got you're an author too. So you were mentioning you've got some book releases coming up here.
I do. Here, I'll do a little sneak peek to show everybody. Can we see? So the book, we're getting closer to the final cover here. It's called Ignite the Organizer in You. It's been about almost 3 years now in the works. It's a foundational book of really teaching people about themselves, having insights on the power of leading an organized life that works for them, being efficient, having simple methods to follow. Doesn't have to be extreme minimalistic. It doesn't have to be where I'm, forcing people to throw away all their favorites. It's saying, hey, what do we need to do that's going to work for you, your family, your lifestyle, and your home, and help give them what they need. So it's neat because the book has a lot of great stories, personal stories for myself and my team and clients, with my kiddos and family, lots of humor. I'm not a reader, so I got to have a book I would want to read too. Definitely checklists to finish at the end. Everybody loves checking stuff off. Printables to follow. Great. And we start with what I call matters of the heart. Where are you at? What do you want for your home? Then we go to matters of the mind, teaching, gatekeeping and decision making, which is such a big part. Yeah. And then the last is matters of the hands, and I actually show you how to organize any possible space, office, awesome. Garage, kitchen. And then the second book, part of the same series, is Ignite the Organizer in Your Child. Awesome. Don't really know of any true organizing foundational books just for kids that you can do. And my boys love organizing. They were on the Channel 12 segment yesterday. That was totally not part of the plan, but they're like, Monica Garcia-Akers, like, hey, do you want to be on it? And my kids were like, yeah. And they had such a good time kind of showing off skills and systems. That's awesome. And it's just great.
Is that a book for kids to read, or is that a book for parents to help their kids?
It's both. I designed it so that they're going to identify their organizing personalities, and my kids help me come up with the fun names because they're like, Mom, that sounded boring. Right. You need to have a way cooler name for these personalities. Yeah. So and then there'll be checklists. It's sort of like I'm talking to the parent, but then I'm also talking to the child on working with them. So it might be like you're going to just take one chapter, work it together. And, so it's really discussing kind of both sides of the coins in a sense. And we're really, really excited. And the plan is to go deep with this and to offer workshops where people can just come and be like, hey, I got a lot going on. I want answers, whatever they, get ticket and kit. And get to work with me, and I get to help them and my team. So we're just here to educate.
That's awesome. You know, it's people. A lot of people, you know, some are readers, some are like hands-on doers. So it looks like you're providing a lot of the different options for different types of people to be able to help themselves organize themselves, to clear their minds, to clear their life, to make a happier life better for them and their family and everybody else. Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up here, is there anything that you'd like to mention, to recommend, anything last words here before we let everybody kind of get back to their lives?
Get back to their exactly. I think the big thing is, you know, there's a lot of value in, like you said earlier, in your time. So I think if people are, I say, you know, you give yourself sort of that, hey, I went out there, I tried to get the solution, it worked, it didn't. You want to grab a friend or family member to help you, great. But at some point, if you're not able to really close the gap, then that can really multiply in massive effects. And then as the busier life gets, or unfortunately a life situation happens, you got a water heater that blows, you have someone had an accident, job changes, multiple moves. What'll happen is, if you don't make a decision, a life situation sadly is going to make it for you. So it's not when it's not like if I organize or not. The when is going to happen. I think we think we're more in control of life and the organizing, but until we really have a system in place, it's going to swallow us up. Like, we have got to take the control back and not let it go. And people let it go way, way too long. We're talking years. And then you've got a tangled that's going to take a lot longer and more expensive to untangle.
That's like with people's health. That's what we try to help promote.
Oh yeah, totally.
Where we have a very reactive society, right? And many times, which, you know, is because we're in a state of survival. Most people are in a state of go, 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 and they're in that fight or flight. So that's how the brain works, is just put stuff to the side. But at the same time, being proactive helps you be prepared for when those life events happen. Because you get, it's kind of like the market crash in the past. You know, people were kind of going on a limb and stretching themselves thin, and then boom, the crash, right? And then everybody was like, oh, right? Or you can, you know, neglect your health for a long time, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then what? And then you're trying to
multiple things,
all this money to try to gain things back, and, you know, like what you're talking about, you know, we put this organizing and stuff aside, and then a life event happens, and then boom, everything goes to chaos there as well. So being proactive is, you know, making sure things are set up for when life happens. And if, you know, those people that are out there that are always thinking, I need organization, or I'll do it next weekend, or I'll do it then. And I'm going to put up your website here where people can really connect.
That's great.
Information on there to be able to see how to connect with you. To, you know, if you are that person out there that, you know, is feeling that sense of, I'm just disorganized, I don't know what to do, get in touch with Danielle. It's going to save you time, hurt, increase your health, increase everything else out there. So
and it's so fun. We do Instagram and Facebook. We do a lot of fun, clever hacks. I do some pretty crazy Instagram stories. I'm trying things with my dishwasher, my bathroom, and my kids. And, you know, just every day. I'm not here to get it all perfect. I'm just here to help make it. And we really make it fun. This does not have to be a shameful, crazy, expensive thing. It's like, you just get you where you need to go. So following along on social also gives you a good amount of tips. We have a Teachable Tips newsletter as well, and that goes out about once a month too. And we're hoping to do more with like IGTV and so forth. So thank you so much. It was great fun.
Thanks for taking the time today to show us who you are, what you do, to give us for our viewership, and anybody sees this on the Instagram and Facebook out there. But thanks again for coming on. And,
thank you.
Everybody else out there, until next time, be elevated.
Yes.
All right.